Hello, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, coming to you on a Monday. If you can't tell, I'm not feeling particularly well today, so I'm going to fight through this because I love you guys and I want to continue giving you guys good content. But yeah, my voice is having a bad day. I'm David Helping. Right there is the CEO of Prime Sports World, Israel Rivera,
Better
from
get you
Daily
some honey.
Blitz blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Welcome into the show, gentlemen. How you guys all doing? Also, if you're looking for consistent content, continue to like, share, and subscribe to Prime Sports World. Gentlemen, happy Monday. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel today. I don't have the voice for it. But how you guys doing?
We doing well. You need some green tea and some honey, David. That's what you need.
All right, right now I got water.
Water? Well, you need some green tea and some honey. It's like, Christian to tell you that'll soothe the throat real well.
I don't have green tea or honey right now.
Nah, you need
Damn.
Hennessy. Nah, you need Hennessy.
Oh, Hennessy. Hennessy, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And TJ, and I know, and David won't say it because David's voice out. TJ will be here in about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so he'll be coming on probably towards the quarter start of the show.
Yeah, he got to go see Black Panther, so pretty excited for him. Let's get into the content. Let's talk about Thursday Night Football. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons dropping a goose egg in Carolina, getting beat 25-15. Marcus Mariota, 19 of 30, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He also led the team in rushing. Demario Byrd led the team in receiving yards. And on the Panther side of this, PJ Walker bounced back from his abysmal game the week before for a decent performance here. 10 of 16, 108 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Now Devontae Foreman and Terrence Marshall Jr., leading receiver for the Carolina Panthers and leading running back. Thoughts on this game in Thursday Night Football?
It was a snooze fest. I'm just going to be honest with you, but Atlanta just didn't come with the intensity. They didn't come with that will to the end. And Carolina made a horrible NFC South just look really bad at this point because we don't know. We know who's more than likely going to win this division, but this division this year kind of reminds me of the NFC East. When I started working with you guys in 2020, because the team was on the division.
You know what? This game, I expected a little bit more out of the Falcons in this game. I expected a little bit more out of Cordero Patterson. Definitely Marcus Mariota. Deontay Foreman really put on a nice performance in this game. There's a lot of background noise for some reason.
Christian, your mic's low and you got a lot of background noise coming on from your mic right now.
So Deontay Foreman, he put on an incredible performance, 31 carries, 430 yards and a touchdown. We got a LaVisca Chenault showing with a touchdown. He had 2 carries for 42 yards, I think, on end arounds, if I'm not mistaken. And not much in the passing game. I didn't really expect much in the passing game. I expected Carolina, the run was working early and often against the Falcons. And so I really, I'm just really surprised because at how this game was the last game, where it was like a 33-31 overtime win, right? With Younghoe Koo kicking the field goal to win the game in OT. Oh no, it was 31-34.
That game ended at the buzzer. It didn't. It was
at the buzzer. So it was 31-33. Okay, that was right. And I expected a little bit more scoring. I think the last game that they played was Cordero. I think Cordero Patterson did play in that game.
Cordero Patterson did not play in that. He did.
He did not play in the game. He did not play in the game. Okay, but he did. The last game he had 2 touchdowns. So I expected a little bit more out of him coming in this game. He had 5 carries for 18 yards. They just really couldn't get much going, Atlanta. And so I got to give credit to that young Carolina Panthers defense, which, by the way, I do agree with some people. They didn't trade away some of their defensive assets. They did trade away some of their offensive guys, Christian McCaffrey, because they kind of are trying to build a little nucleus there defensively. And I think coming up in this next year's draft, you'll see them, start to, look at more of an offensive draft coming into next season.
But they got to figure out the most important position. They got to figure out the quarterback situation. I don't think PJ Walker is the answer. I don't think
No.
I don't think Sam Darnold's the answer, and Baker Mayfield isn't the answer. So they got to get the quarterback position right before they can do anything.
Absolutely. I wonder what Christian's thoughts on it were. I mean, if you unmute him, I think he's still muted.
Unmute himself. I can't unmute him.
He's got to unmute himself. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I don't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you there. I can hear you, man. Yeah, whatever. We can go to the next game. Honestly, I don't have much to say. I expect, Atlanta. What's the who is the leader in the NFC South? Is it still Atlanta?
No, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. Okay.
Yep. So speaking of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we got the first game ever in Munich. Seattle Seahawks tried to come back from an early deficit, could not. 21-16 in favor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Geno Smith, solid game here, 23 of 33, 275 and 2 touchdowns. He also led the team in rushing. DK Metcalf, leading receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, but Tyler Lockett and Marquise Goodwin had the receiving touchdowns for the Seattle Seahawks. On the Tampa Bay side of this, Tom Brady, 22 of 29, 258, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Leonard Fournette got injured early in this game, and Rashad White led the team in rushing, 22 carries for 105 yards. And Chris Godwin, 6 of 71 for 1 touchdown. Julio Jones scored the first touchdown ever in Munich. By the way, the Germany crowd is so good during these games. Like all these international crowds are usually so well done. Like when they were singing "Country Roads," like,
that was awesome.
So cool. Like that was so cool. And,
that was awesome.
And
they sing "Sweet Caroline" at the end of the game too.
Yeah, like and then they had that giant beer that just sell. Like, man, we gotta step up our games when it comes to sporting events for real.
Oh yeah, no, they were definitely in unison. I guess apparently, Country Road and Sweet Caroline is big with the Munich fans in Germany due to Oktoberfest. A lot of Oktoberfest, they really like that song. So I thought the crowd was electric. I didn't get up so early to watch like the first quarter, but I caught the second half. The Seattle was making a great comeback in that fourth quarter. Tampa Bay just got it done just to close out that game. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, putting Tom Brady out there to catch a pass. But it got picked off. That was a questionable call. But other than that, I would like to say this about Geno Smith. Man, that throw that he made, moving to his left, throwing across his body, throwing a dime into the end zone. I forget who caught that ball. Who caught that ball? Is it Goodwin? It was Goodwin.
I think that's the Goodwin touchdown.
Yeah, it was a Goodwin touchdown. That was a dime that Geno Smith threw to him. And I kind of had that feeling like if Tampa gave the ball back to Seattle, Seattle came back and won this game.
I agree with you. I think if Seattle had gotten the ball back, I think they would have won.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But excellent game.
All right, you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect fine.
Okay. Tampa, back to the basics. If you look at when Tampa was 2-0 and when they were 3-1, what was their bread and butter? They were running the football. They got back to pounding the rock. And most importantly, I saw look like they were having fun again. They had energy. They were enthusiastic on both sides of the ball, dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides. And they're starting to click. I'm not saying they're going to run the tables, but they're starting to click. I think in this bad division, they can separate themselves easily, but I'm not going to put them in the upper echelon with Philly, San Francisco, and Minnesota. Those are the 3 best teams in the NFC. Seattle. For Tampa Bay, the formula is simple. Run the football. You're not going to win games with Tom Brady throwing the ball close to 50 times a game. That's just not the way. He never even did that really in his prime, if you think about it. So why do you think he's going to do it now in his 23rd season in the league? Run the football. And what's running the football do? It keeps defenses honest. So when you keep running the ball, they're not going to have a choice but to load the box.
And pretty balanced attack here. Looks like they had 38 rush attempts to 29 pass attempts. So pretty good balance there. I would have liked to have seen more balance out of Seattle. Kenneth Walker only had 10 carries in this game. I know he had 6 receptions, but 10 carries for Kenneth Walker. Guys been rolling. I know they were down, but I would have liked to have seen him be more involved in the overall game.
They were down 14-3 going into the fourth quarter, so I get it. Why they kind of abandoned that run game. Also,
that means he had 3 quarters to still be sort of in it. Like 14-3 is not that lopsided.
no, I understand, but sometimes when that running game ain't going, which it wasn't, I gotta give some praise to the run defense of the Bucks. I mean,
It's true. Yeah,
they really couldn't get the running game.
1.7 yards to carry.
Yeah, they really couldn't get they weren't getting much out of him, and that's because they were filling all the lanes. They were doing their jobs there down there in Munich. So maybe this is a sign of things to come for the Tampa Bay defense. To be back on that elite status again moving forward.
Or maybe it's a sign that Seattle's about to come back down to earth. So who knows?
Maybe.
I know you.
Maybe.
Look. I know
you want him to come down to earth.
Listen, I know he's sick and everything. At least none of our asses had him winning only one game.
I got this one right. I picked Tampa Bay. Another game that I picked correctly. I picked that the Minnesota Vikings would go into Orchard Park and beat the Buffalo Bills. I did not predict it to be the game of the year, and it would include one of the most interesting plays ever, that quarterback sneak from the goal line. I also did not predict it would have the greatest catch in the history of the NFL. That catch by Justin Jefferson. But Minnesota I think it's a great 30-30, Minnesota over the Buffalo Bills. Kirk Cousins, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Dalvin Cook, over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, nearly 200 yards receiving, plus that touchdown. And that catch he made on 4th down, 4th and 18. I'm not even sure how he managed to keep it from hitting the ground. Like, everything about that catch was just mind-blowing. On the other side, Josh Allen, another up-and-down game for Josh Allen. 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. He led the team in rushing. Devin Singletary punched in 2 on the ground. Stephon Diggs, over 120 yards receiving. Gabe Davis had the lone receiving touchdown. And he also threw Josh Allen threw the pick that sealed the game to Patrick Peterson, giving him 2 for the game. Thoughts on the catch? Because I think it's got to be up there. And then when you talk about the greatest catches of all time, it's got to be in the conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely in there. But looking at the game overall, the Buffalo Bills have a problem putting teams away. Izzy can correct me if I'm wrong here. We talked about this the other day before we recorded College Football Showdown. The Bills have a problem. They get complacent and they settle. Like, they look like the same old Buffalo Bills in the first half. What have I been saying to you guys all year about coach trying to go for it on 4th? Don't take the point. Look at what happened. Sean McDermott elects to go for it, and what ends up happening the minute he goes for it? Josh Allen throws an interception, and that changes the whole dynamic of the entire football game. Like, Buffalo's defense couldn't clamp down. They couldn't make stops. So why are you defending Justin Jefferson?
First of all,
at least have some safety help over the top. And then number 2, it's just crazy to think, this Buffalo team flew across the country and beat the Rams 1. And they look dominant. Ever since then, I don't know what's going on, because it seems like ever since they played your Green Bay Packers, they haven't looked right. Like, teams are running the football on them.
Running right down their throats.
And they're doing it until they can stop them. And look, I think if any team needs home field advantage in the playoffs come January, it's Buffalo.
Well, I hope they get it.
I want to welcome into the show, fresh off seeing the Black Panther movie. Welcome into the show, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. And T.J., we're breaking down the Vikings-Bills game. We'll give you your analysis on this game. Go ahead.
First of all, can I say something? That was a horrible throw that Kirk Cousins threw that Justin Jefferson caught.
For sure.
An absolute horrible throw. It should have been picked, and I don't know how the hell Justin Jefferson came down with that. That's why it makes it such a great catch.
When I watched it live, I was like, "Oh, okay." And then, I was like, "Did he catch that? There's no way he caught that."
That was a horrible throw. That was a horrible throw. And I swear, I think I had said something along the lines, guys, because I saw one of the greatest catches I've seen in college football just this past weekend. Notre Dame wide receiver with that catch over that Navy kid. And I was like, yo, that's the best catch all year, college or pros. And then Justin Jefferson proceeded to do that at the pro level.
There must be some kind of crazy stuff in those gloves where he just caught it and literally didn't move from his hand.
It is crazy, but you gotta have You gotta have one, big hands, two, a lot of strength to muscle that away from TJ about to get to it, bro. You had two hands on it.
But
Bro, you had two hands on
hitting
it.
the ground, like it was literally like I don't know how he did it for real, TJ.
Just knock it down. Just knock the ball down. Knock the ball down, game over. Like I get it, everybody want to intercept to make their stats look good or whatnot. Just knock the ball down. You didn't need to, like. I go back to the Bears Lions game 2 years ago, like Jalen Johnson's rookie year. That Mitch Trubisky comeback, they were down 20-3. The last play of the game, Jalen Johnson has a chance to pick the ball off for his first career interception in the end zone. What does he do? He knocks it out of bounds. Game over, Bears win. All you have to do is knock it out of bounds. And again, you had two hands on the ball. Even if you were
and instead, that drive continued. Yeah, you're a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit, and you're a little bit low. But instead of that happening, Vikings drove the leak of the field, couldn't convert on fourth down. Josh Allen turns the ball over on the botched snap. The Minnesota Vikings score a touchdown. This is where I have an interesting like. So when Buffalo was down at like the 4-yard line at the end of regulation, I think I personally would have gone for the win on that play right there. I've been like, we're either going to win this game or we're going to lose it. We're not going into overtime. I would have tried to go in for the end zone. You're down at the 4. Here's as close as you're going to get. I may be the only one who thinks that way, but I wouldn't have let that game go in overtime. We're either winning this game right now on the final play of the game, or we're just going to lose. We haven't played well enough to win this game anyways.
That's a play. That's a decision where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because if you do get it, then okay. Like I mean, it was a bad thought. It might have been a bad decision, but you still won the game. It's not a bad decision. It doesn't look like. But if you don't do it, like now it's like you lost the game. You played real conservative. You took it to OT. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's coaching, and that's what coaches got to deal with. We saw the same thing in the Packers game. We'll talk about it later on with Mike McCarthy going for it on fourth down instead of electing to kick the field goal. Those are very hard decisions that you have to make as the head football coach in the NFL.
Yeah. But either way, probably game of the year, super entertaining football game. Minnesota continues to roll 8-1.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you. Do you guys go for the safety? Do you guys do is take the safety at the 1-yard line and play defense? Like kick the ball as far as you can possible and play defense because you probably can kick it to the 20. Or do you guys like do what Buffalo did?
I mean, if you don't botch that snap, you win the game. I mean, you can't give up the safety there because then all that Minnesota needs to do is kick a field goal and they beat you. That would be it. And they still would have a timeout and they would have like 40 seconds left.
You make them drive the field. You make them.
I mean, Minnesota doesn't get the ball back even if they execute that just hand it off twice or quarterback sneak twice. Minnesota doesn't get the ball back. The game is over.
But then there's always that's what happens.
The ball was basically in the end zone anyway.
Damn near.
The ball was practically in the end zone anyway. They had no room to do anything. So like, if
I was Josh Allen
that handoff because what if if he gets up?
Check it out, TJ, David. If I'm Josh Allen, I would have made a play where I'm running around in the end zone and taking off as much clock as possible, and then taking the safety. I think that would have been a very smart play. But that's just me.
I totally disagree with you.
It's the same thing that happened with the Rams and the Cardinals.
All you gotta do is execute 2 snaps well, and you win the game. Minnesota doesn't get the ball back. They only have 1 timeout left. It's first down. You hand it off 1 time. Minnesota burns their timeout. You hand it off the second time. You win the game.
They didn't have that.
Got bad connection issues.
What?
They had that kind of real estate to run around the end zone and take a knee. Like no, they were like right there.
No, I know that you couldn't take a knee. They would have to get a positive play out of it. But yeah, I think it would have been interesting to see. So Moving on
Anyways.
from the game of the year to another interesting game early afternoon window. We got Detroit going into Soldier Field and beating the Bears 31-30. Jared Goff, 1 touchdown, no picks. Jamal Williams, 59 yards rushing and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, over 110 yards receiving, 10 catches in this game. Justin Fields, another excellent game for Justin Fields. 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. He also had 2 touchdowns on the ground. The interception that he threw was not good at all. Cole Kmet, 4 catches for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he may have torn his knee up in this game. I haven't looked to see what the update on his injury is. But it didn't.
It's not that serious.
Okay, well, good.
He just bumped knees, he just bumped knees with Jeff Okuda, which I'll get to in a little bit.
But yeah, go ahead. Bears, Lions.
Obviously, if the Bears fans are for the loss, this is this is the second week in a row where the game from you, right?
TJ's frozen. TJ breaking up real bad. TJ.
Failed the offense. Why am I doing? What is going on?
Go ahead, Izzy.
I'm gonna say something. Justin Fields looked like he was back at Ohio State in this game. That's all I gotta say. He looked good. You could say the one mistake he made, the interception, because it turned. I think it turned to 7 points for the Lions.
That tied the game. We were up.
That tied the game.
Yeah, we were up 17-24.
Yeah, that tied the game. So you could say that was the only mistake, and it was a big mistake, albeit. But Justin Fields, the next series, ran an RPO play, ran a zone replay to the house. Okay, ran a zone replay to the house. So it comes down to, I think TJ said it. That call, there was a call there at the end. I didn't quite catch that at the end, but I would like to hear what you guys' thoughts on it. I just honestly think this is a game that the Bears should have won, could have won. But this is a Lions team that is starting to learn how to win close games, I guess. Albeit against maybe the same type of level of competition. But yeah, what's his name? Dan Campbell. This is his first win on the road. And I mean, in how many? I think it's his first win on the road in the NFC North, right?
First win on the road. Period.
Period. Yeah. Period. Yeah, so what
I was saying before my internet decided to have an aneurysm. Bears fans, again, they aren't happy. They feel like this is the second week in a row where refs took a game from them. Like, that's the easy way to look at it, and you can share all of the screenshots and videos of the referees missing penalties and whatnot, because, again, it's just one-sided. The Bears had 9 or 10 penalties. The Lions had 2 penalties for the whole game, and I'm like, if the Lions were that disciplined, if they were that disciplined as a team, they're not 3-6. They're a lot better than what their record says it is. But the other way to look at this is the defense came up short, right? It's 3rd and 15, you give up a first down. It's 3rd and 8, you give up a first down. It's 2nd and long, you give up a first down. That's not and it came back to bite him in the end. Now the penalty that Izzy's talking about at the end, Cole Kmet's running a crossing route, and Jeffrey Okuda's coming the other way, and he makes contact with Cole Kmet. That's interference. That's a penalty. That's automatic first down. It wasn't called. The last play of the game, Justin Fields is in the grasp of Okereke. The whistle is blown, and he gets hip tossed after the whistle. That's unnecessary roughness.
We've been seeing that a lot with Justin Fields this year, where guys have really been teeing off on him. And I don't know if it's because he's like a bigger quarterback that can run and put his head down a little bit, but I don't like it. I don't like the fact that the NFL and the refs have been letting teams tee on this young man for the last few weeks.
Well, let's be honest. The way certain quarterbacks are officiated is obviously much different than the way other quarterbacks are officiated.
Frustrating.
That has been a thing since the beginning of time. I mean, Cam Newton was officiated way different than Tom Brady was back in the day, or Lamar Jackson's officiated different than Josh Allen, like Aaron Rodgers.
I just got some numbers for the Justin Fields haters out there, for all the people that just say he's a glorified running back. Forget the rushing numbers, right? Because those are impressive. He has, since week 8, he has 7 passing touchdowns. That's second in the NFL. And he has a pass rating of 108.9, which is 4th in the entire NFL. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a guy that's a glorified running back.
Hey, I want to say this though. What was the game where it was like where he had like 6 pass attempts? And I think this was like early in the season. I was like, the Bears coaching staff needs to create their game plan around Justin Fields and not the other way around, and not try and fit him into their coaching plans. Well, I think they've been doing that, getting them out on the edge, a lot of bootlegs, play actions, all for the good running game that you guys got. RPO, zone reads, quarterback powers. They've actually been doing this stuff, and it's been working.
And Izzy, to get to that point, in his last 6 games, 88 of 141, 1,018 passing yards, 10 passing touchdowns, 3 picks.
That's what you call making in-season adjustments for your young quarterback. And I said this yesterday. He's got the same type of trajectory that I saw young Josh Allen having early on in his career.
Yeah, and you look at Josh Allen's numbers for his first 21 starts; they're eerily similar to Justin Fields.
Eerily similar. So for Bears fans to say, that's so hope that crap, because look at the kid, look at the guy, what he's doing in Buffalo. You literally had 3-4 years of Mitch Trubisky. This kid is actually showing some real signs of superstardom. Like you could see it. Because once he gets the game slows down in the passing game for him, he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be dangerous.
I would like to see this coaching staff use Chase Claypool a little more interestingly. 3 catches for 16 yards in his first 2 games. I think that his usage should be a little bit higher. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Bears. The offensive line needs to get better, obviously. Moving on to probably the most disappointing team in the NFL. Denver Broncos lose another game where Russell Wilson plays not so good again. 17-10 to the Tennessee Titans. Russell Wilson, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Melvin Gordon had one of the worst first halves, maybe in running back history, but he still led the team in rushing with 24 yards. He also had a fumble. He dropped a pass. Russell Wilson had 3 fumbles, recovered 2 of them. Jalen Virgil, lead receiver for the Denver Broncos. Jerry Jeudy got injured on the first play of the game and never returned. And on the other side of this, Ryan Tannehill, 2 touchdowns on his own. Derrick Henry only had 53 yards rushing. And Westbrook-Ikhine, 5 catches, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Westbrook-Ikhine only had 130 yards the entire season combined before this game. So.
This has been a disaster for Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett and the whole Denver Broncos as a whole. Godly, man. It's so hard to watch them play football. I really don't understand the disparity. I mean, I don't understand the disparity of 42 pass attempts to 25 rush attempts. Really? I mean, I know you don't really trust Melvin Gordon as much, but you just traded for Chase Edmonds. You got Latavius Murray, who's no slouch. I mean, you could run the football. I mean, dude, 17-10, the game was pretty close. Majority of the football game. Why put it all in Russell Wilson? And this kind of goes back to the Seahawks days, right? Where it's like we're like Russell Wilson. We want to make Russell Wilson this face of the franchise, this great quarterback, and at the 1-yard line where Malcolm Butler picks him off in the Super Bowl when he could have just handed it off to Marshawn Lynch, could have scored a touchdown. It's kind of just goes back to that in a way. 42 passes.
I mean, you're getting paid $250 million. I mean, you should be better than
this. Yes. There we go. You should be better than this. I just don't understand it. I mean,
especially when you're Denver, you gave up a haul to try to bring him in.
I don't get it.
No, you gave up 6 sacks to a Titans front 7 with no Harold.
That too.
Jeffrey Simmons didn't play in this game.
no Harold Landry, no Jeffrey Simmons. So I'm gonna ask y'all like Dylan Cole. You ever heard of him?
No,
You ever
that's the
heard
guy.
of Dylan
That's the
Cole?
guy they drafted, right?
I,
The kid from North Dakota State,
Missouri
offensive
State,
lineman.
but Dylan Cole is a linebacker. I'm talking about
Oh,
sacks. Dylan
oh,
Cole
okay.
is my point exactly. Right, 28 years old, got a sack yesterday. We all Mario Evans Jr. We should know him, former Bear. He got a sack yesterday. Um, who else? Who else got one? Naquan Jones. Ever heard of him?
oh,
Mm-hmm.
hey, no, but you know what though, TJ? Also,
Yeah.
some of those damn sacks are on Russell Wilson though, because he just doesn't. His pocket presence still is like it's not. He doesn't. He's never steps in the pocket. He always wants to run around and like he wants to exit out the back way when there's already pressure. When you can step up inside the pocket and either run or make your throws. And this guy just wants to run around in the back end of the pocket and he just runs right into the sack. There was like two or three of them like that yesterday.
So yeah, whew, it was all good a week ago. It was all good a week ago. You go to London, you silence some people, you win a game, but then you just lay a complete egg against a Titans team you probably should have beat because Derrick Henry had 19 carries for 53 yards. Like
If you hold Derrick Henry 53 yards, you win that game.
you win that game.
You're supposed to win that game.
You're supposed to win that game, bro. Ryan Tannehill was 19 of 36.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Look, and it's like what TJ always says. Anybody but number 22. Anybody but him. I'm cool with Nick Westbrook or Keenan having 100.
Having a game is like
look. And you know why I'm okay? And you know why I'm okay with him having the game of his life? Because he ain't going to do it again. He's not going to do it again.
So sometimes you're right.
But they're literally wasting a pretty damn good defense this season because of how future this offense is.
If the Denver Broncos were able to score 18 points in every game this season, they would be 8-1 right now.
And just 18. Just 18.
What?
Come on, man. Just 18.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. If they were able to score 18 points a game, they'd be 8-1. The only game they would have lost is that Raider game. Every other game this season, they would have won.
There's a couple coaches that need to just get fired Herm Edwards style. Nathaniel Hackett's one of them. Josh McDaniels is definitely one of them. And I don't even want to wait till I get to that game. Wait till I get to that game.
We'll get to Josh Allen. In a second. Moving on, we're going to stay. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Arrowhead and falling 17-27. But not a bad game here for Trevor Lawrence. 29-40, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Travis Etienne came back down to earth a little bit, 11 carries for 45 yards. And Christian Kirk had a really good game here, and he's looking like he's been worth everything they paid him so far this season. 9 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On the Kansas City side, Patrick Mahomes, that man, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Isaiah Pacheco, leading rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Travis Kelce, of course, leading receiver. MVS and Kadarius Toney and Noah Gray all caught touchdowns for the Chiefs. Thoughts?
Yeah, Kansas City right now, they're looking like the favorites to get home field advantage, and they're looking like the favorites in the AFC again. And it's like, look, I think now the addition of Kadarius Toney, he brings more depth to their offense because now you look at how Kansas City was composed the last couple years. It's Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And then who else, right? Now it's Travis Kelce, it's Noah Gray, it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling, it's Juju, and I hope he's okay because I know he got hurt in the game.
He took a real bad hit.
And now you add Kadarius Toney to the mix. The Chiefs have a lot of depth, more than they had all those other years, and if they can get that defense back to the level that it was in 2019 when they won it all. This is a team I don't want to see. Like Mahomes right now, I think is the favorite to win league MVP. Josh Allen's played his way away from the table because if you look at Buffalo and their 3 losses, he's had something to do with those losses. He can't take care of the ball. But Mahomes is still getting the job done. No Tyreek Hill, no problem. He's sharing the wealth.
I'm giving her MVP. Jalen
Hurts. Kansas
Hurts.
City. Just real quick, the other crazy thing about Kansas City, they haven't had Frank Clark the last 2 weeks because he's been suspended. He's coming back.
And wait till they get him back.
Frank Clark.
Oh, Frank Clark. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but Trevor Lawrence, a decent game here. Obviously, Jacksonville Jaguars way outmatched by Kansas City Chiefs. This is a game Kansas City's supposed to win, and they did win.
Yep. You're totally right, man. I don't know. You know what? Like I said, Christian said, man. I hope Juju gets back. Looked like that was a real bad hit. That was a concussion. And
he's
also
in the concussion protocol. I think he seems to be doing okay. So
seems to be doing okay. But another
part on the internet. So
another thing I want to say about the Kansas City Chiefs that this year that they haven't had in the last maybe year or two is that they got a guy, Isaiah Pacheco. He's got some fierceness to him when he runs that football. Whenever they commit to him, he can run north-south, man, and that kid gets downhill real quick. So that's another, added element to this offense, along with Kadarius Toney, who can get you a lot of yak and is a big playmaker with a little bit of, a screenplay or an end around. Kadarius Toney can get you 18 or take one to the house for you. So, Kansas City's dangerous, man.
I agree. I agree. Go ahead, TJ.
And I get it. Kadarius Toney had a good game, and by a good game, I mean 2 catches for 33 yards. No, that's rushing. He had 4 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown. That's like a career game for him, right?
Yeah.
And
he had that monster game against Dallas, but
whatever. Who remembers it?
Obviously, I do. I'm a person, TJ.
Again, who remembers it? There was a reason this was like a so what move when Kansas City traded for him because his numbers in New York they were whatever. It's like, you traded for Kadarius Toney? Oh, okay.
Wasn't last year, wasn't his rookie year though?
You're correct. It was the 19th overall pick last year.
Gotta give him some time to develop, TJ, especially if he was a little banged up last year and a little bit this year.
I think he became a locker room problem. This is why the Giants traded him away. If I remember correctly, Christian, you're the Giant expert here.
I don't know. I'm an expert, but I don't know about Giants. But nah, he was their first pick.
20 overall.
He was a 20th overall pick in 2021. And to echo off of what TJ said, to piggyback off that, the Giants never really found ways to use him. I think Kansas City can use him to his potential, but like Izzy said, he needs time to develop. Remember, this is only his third year or third year in the league. It takes time.
His second year in the league.
Oh yeah, it takes time. I mean, look. He's not going to come out the gates and be Randy Moss.
Not to mention he spent a lot of the last season hurt, and when he came back, he wasn't sure what his role was in New York, and a team that really wasn't going anywhere.
Hey, shit, he wasn't even that all that super spectacular at Florida. He just had some real big play potential, and he had a lot of speed.
I think people saw him as like a potential.
Yes, there you go.
Moving on from that game, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns getting spanked in South Beach, 39-17 by the Miami Dolphins. Jacoby Brissett 1 touchdown and 0 picks. Nick Chubb, another decent game for him, 63 yards and a touchdown. Donovan Peoples-Jones, one of TJ's favorite players in the NFL, 5 catches for 99 yards. Mr. Peoples-Jones. On the Miami side, Tua Tagovailoa continues to be on the hot streak. I think this is 8 or 7 starts that he's finished, and he's won every single game that he's finished. 3 touchdowns. Jeff Wilson, number 1 running back, I guess, in Miami now. 119 yards and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert also punched one in on the ground. Trent Sherfield and Alec Ingold and Tyreek Hill all have receiving touchdowns for the Miami.
You want to know? You want to know why
Miami Dolphins had 3 running backs in the top 10 in fantasy this week.
You want to know? You want to know how I'm holding up this donut right here? This 0. That's how many punts the Miami Dolphins attempted in this game. 0 punts. They had 1 turnover on downs. I'll give you that.
Is Tommy Thompson
0 punts in this game. That's how potent this offense has been. Yeah, it's a landslide. I don't even want to talk about this game.
Yeah, I wonder why you don't want to talk about this game, TJ.
That was Izzy that said that. That wasn't me.
Okay.
Look
I thought that was you.
No,
look,
no. See, I want to talk about look when they get to the Raiders and the Packers. Talk about it. Let's talk about the Raiders. Yeah, I got a lot to say about the Raiders.
It's
I'm
like
just like,
games like this, like it's one of those things where it's like, yo, somebody got to give a damn. Like nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going into the phone booth to put on the Superman cape. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson can't fix this. I also don't think he would make that much of a difference. I really don't.
me neither.
Right? They did a hell of a job containing Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb only had 11 carries for the whole game.
Well, you gotta imagine game flow had a lot to do with that. They were down 17-10 at halftime.
Bro, that's your argument every time. I don't care. It's your strength. Do what you're good at.
Yeah. Because
you know what? They was down by.
I mean, Nick Chubb ran the ball pretty well in this game.
No. But he did take one to the house. Like they did give him the ball, and they was down. I think they was down like 2 or 3 scores, and he took one to the house. And to TJ's point, yeah, why don't you just keep doing that? He took one to the house. Just give him to him again.
17-7 at halftime. There's no reason to hit the panic. But all right, Jacoby, you gotta get it. You gotta bring us home with your arm. He's not that guy. Do what you're good at.
Yeah.
Touche. I got.
Like, come on, man. Like they hit the panic button too much to me in the NFL. The minute they get down 10 scores, it's like, all right, we gotta start. We gotta just ditch the game plan. We gotta get back in the game. Like, no.
He did also lose one fumble early on in this game, which didn't make
but
it's Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb and fumbles. How often do we hear that though?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's Nick Chubb. It's Nick Chubb, so I can't really fault him for that.
And after a while, it's like Tyreek Hill didn't even kill you this game. Jalen, they weren't spectacular. 5 for 44. Jalen Harvey 4 for 66. After a while, you get tired of one dude carving up the defense and running up and down your throats. Jeff Wilson had 17 carries for 119 yards. That's 7 yards pop.
Yeah, and with Jeff Wilson, he's comfortable because he played under Mike McDaniel back in the San Francisco days. So, his level of comfortability is at an all-time high right now. He doesn't have to learn the offense, And go ahead, TJ.
Once again, hey, somebody got to give a damn. Somebody got to draw a line in the proverbial sentence. Like, all right, this is it. No more of this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this shit. Right now, make them stand and you got to do that. And the guy and for a guy like Myles Garrett to have no sacks, none.
His body language on the sideline the whole game was terrible. He just looked like he just didn't even want to play.
I'll say this. Someone the other day asked me about Deshaun Watson and could he make a difference? And is he going to be in game? And is he going to be in game shape? And my response was this. I hope so. I mean, I hope he wasn't just sitting on his ass. I hope he wasn't just sitting on his ass eating bonbons watching the Golden Girls. Like, come on.
Right.
Like Jamarcus
Russell. Who's that quarterback from the Giants that played for Kentucky?
Who? Jared Lorenzen.
He's dead. He's dead.
Okay. Rest in peace. My bad.
Be nice.
My bad. Let's be nice. My bad.
But to that point, only way to get in the game shape is to what? Play the games.
Oh, he said, "I'll just return to practice now, so we'll see what happens."
Practice
moving on to the Houston Texans going into East Rutherford, New Jersey, and getting beat by Christian's New York Football Giants, 24-16. Davis Mills 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Dameon Pierce still a pretty solid game here, 17 carries for 94 yards. Jordan Akins, leading receiver for the Houston Texans. Nico Collins returned off injury and had the touchdown for them receiving. Daniel Jones, pretty solid game here for him. 13-17, 197, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Saquon Barkley had 35 carries in this game for 152 yards and a touchdown. Darius Slayton and Lawrence.
I'm surprised he didn't have more touchdowns.
Had the receiving touchdowns for these teams.
I am surprised he didn't have 3 or 4 touchdowns.
7-2.
Yeah, the 7. I mean, look, they're 7-2 right now. They're doing it with a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley and a little bit of the passing game, and the defense is going to finish the rest. This is kind of similar to the formula the Cowboys were using with Cooper Rush. Little Cooper Rush, a lot of the running game, and defense will handle the rest. Special teams will also pitch in as well. The Giants there, they look like a completely different team compared to what we last saw them, because I think they kind of threw the towel in a little bit when they played Seattle. The bye week did them some good. They came out fresh. They came out rejuvenated.
And they played the Texans.
What that mean?
But this is the formula that the Giants, if they're going to win games, they're going to play good defense. And Saquon Barkley's going to run the ball.
They played the Texans, right? And so, Damian Pierce has literally been running up and down the field on folks. He didn't do it yesterday. So kudos to the Giants defense for that. 1-7-1. Who the hell tied with the Texans? Who was that?
The Colts.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
One, the beginning of the end.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't care because he's winning. Giants are 7-2. They are well in the wild card.
I mean, they're think of it for the NFC.
That's
the Eagles.
NFC East too, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think they play the Eagles. Don't they play the Eagles next game? Oh, no, they play the Cowboys.
I don't know. I have to look.
I don't know. I have to look at the schedule.
Yeah. They play the Lions next.
Lions next, and then they play the Cowboys. Right. Thanksgiving. Yeah. Let me say this. Brian Daboll, this is what great head coaching, great tutelage, besides Bill Belichick. Great tutelage from a good head coach. Coming from Nick Saban and a Bama coach, Bama assistant, Brian Daboll, but then also, being a coach in Buffalo, also and having a real big impact on Josh Allen and everything like that. Brian Daboll has turned around the New York Giants. He has brought an edge to him. I love the fact that he went to his freaking offensive lineman and he chewed his ass out. Because you're not blocking right. And that's the type of attitude that I love to see in a head football coach. I know he's a grown-ass man, but goddamn it, there needs to be accountability. I'm a grown-ass man too, and you better not forget who the damn head football coach is. You're going to listen to me on the sideline. I love that from Brian Daboll. He's got a fire. He's ejected in his football team, and they play like it, and they play for him. And all that rah-rah BS that Joe Judge used to do, get that out the window, because this guy's actually bringing X's and O's, and he's lighting a fire on this whole team's butt.
It worked for like one season. So on the flip side of this, the Texans, I don't know what the plan is for a quarterback, but
Davis Mills is for sure. As much as Izzy likes him, he's not the answer. They're gonna. I'm gonna tell you right now. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Buddy.
They'll be doing the same thing.
Same damn thing. They are not fixing
That's what I'm saying. So this is what I told somebody earlier, TJ, yesterday. I said, if I'm the Houston Texans, I got the number 1 pick. I'll think about trading that pick to get multiple first-round picks. Because one.
No, you take Will Anderson.
No. What is Will Anderson?
A dominant edge rusher can make just as much of a difference as a quarterback.
Understandable, but you have multiple needs on this.
And they already have extra first-round picks.
Thank you.
I mean, they're going to have a top 10 pick from the Browns in that Deshaun Watson trade.
They're going to have multiple.
They're going to have multiple first. They can build this whole team back up. They can take Will Anderson and still get Will Levis later in this draft if they want to, or any one of those guys maybe.
I don't know, man. Well, you know what? I mean, I forgot about that top 10 pick. But you want to know something? They got multiple needs, and that's what I'm saying, man.
Not to mention, a Brandon Cooks trade is probably coming in the offseason.
They're not getting a first-round pick for him.
Hold on.
You don't need a first-round pick.
You trade
on the top 10 pick for him.
They don't need a first-round pick for Brandon Cooks. You just need the draft capital.
Yeah, I don't. But what are they going to get? A 5th-round pick for him? I think that's what it's worth probably.
Draft capital is draft capital.
You're not wrong.
And I'm not really sold on Will Levis anyways.
Two teams going literally nowhere this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers doubled up the New Orleans Saints 20-10. Andy Dalton, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Alvin Kamara, another lackluster game, 8 of 26. Jawan Dotson, all he does is score garbage time touchdowns. That's exactly what he did in this game. 5 of 41 and a touchdown. On the Pittsburgh side of this, Kenny Pickett, no touchdowns, no picks. Najee Harris, 99 yards on the ground. Kenny Pickett and George Pickens had the receiving touchdowns. Deontay Johnson led the team in receiving
had
yards.
a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
And George Pickens.
Yeah.
They had a rushing touchdown. Nobody had a receiving touchdown.
I know.
Said receiving.
I'm sorry. My voice is a little bit having it right now. So I'm sorry.
First of all, the impact of TJ Watt is infectious on this defense. That's all I want to say. Coming back.
Well, yeah. It also feels like the Saints can't play nobody real good unless they're at home, and even then they barely play people good. I just want to know why they keep rolling out Andy Dalton.
I would love to know that too.
I'm not seeing it unless they trying to tank for draft picks. I don't.
They don't even have a 1st-round pick next year.
So, well, again, some off-season moves could be made to attain said draft pick. If this is the direction you're going, blow this shit up, please.
Yeah, for real, dude. This is
like,
the Saints are hard to watch.
Like, you are in the worst place to be as a franchise, bro. Like, and you don't have a 1st-round pick. Like, so
they traded it to the Eagles.
Get what you can for Cam Jordan. Get what you can for Alvin Kamara, and get what you can for what's his name? Michael. Okay, I get injuries happen. I swear to God I do, but there's no reason for Brian Robinson Jr., who got shot 4 times. He got shot, missed 2 weeks, came back and has been playing ever since he got shot. Michael Thomas played 3 games, hurt his toe, never stepped foot back on the field. So I'm really gonna need some old questions being asked on that situation, because when you look at those 2 situations, the math ain't mathing how it's supposed to be mathing. Like I'm really gonna need some questions to be asked on that front. Really. So like we gotta ask, why is Jameis Winston not getting no snaps when he healthy? Why is Michael Thomas constantly on IR? And why is Alvin Kamara not being used? How, like, Sean, I get it, no Sean Payton, but he's the only person that left. The OC ain't go nowhere.
No, I have no idea. We'll see. Yeah. Any final thoughts on this game before we move on to the game that Izzy wants to rage about? So,
well, Mike Tomlin is
100 career wins.
He's beat every team in the NFL except
the Steelers. Yep.
And he's the only coach to win in Mexico. I think he's the only coach to win in the U.S. and overseas, like in England and Mexico City, if I'm not mistaken. Or not Mexico City, but is it Mexico City? Yeah, he won in Mexico City. Yeah.
He still got a chance to not have his first losing season ever. So
I wouldn't be banking on that. Moving on to the game that Izzy's probably going to rage about here. The Colts go into Las Vegas. They beat the Raiders 25-20 in Jeff Saturday's first NFL coaching game. I was shared that meme on the internet that every team in the NFL for the rest of the Raiders schedule should just hire somebody from the booth and coach against them, see if they can beat Josh McDaniels. But yeah, 25-20. Matt Ryan surprisingly got the start kind of out of nowhere. 1 touchdown to 0 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, they utilized Jonathan Taylor effectively in this game. 147 yards and a touchdown. Matt Ryan also had a rushing touchdown in this game. Paris Campbell, 1 receiving touchdown for the Indianapolis Colts. On the Las Vegas side of this, Derek Carr, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Josh Jacobs had a solid game here. 21 carries, 78 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Adams and Foster Moreau had the receiving touchdowns for the Las Vegas Raiders. Izzy, I know you just go ahead, man.
Oh, man. Man, I'm a betting man. I bet, and because I lost this because the Raiders lost this damn game, I had an opportunity to win over $3,900, and I was watching this game like 4 for 5, baby. All right, come on. Get it, Devontae Adams. He had some great plays. They got it to him. But Stephon Gilmore made a hell of a play to knock that out. I just want to say this, man. How the hell does the Raiders give up a 39-yard scramble to Matt Ryan on 3rd and 3? How the hell does that happen? Max Crosby is out there looking like he's like, where the hell is my help at? I'm still looking for Chandler Jones. There's no reason you got a half set in how many weeks it's been? 9, 10, 10, 11 weeks? Yeah. 9 weeks. 10 weeks. You got a half set? You got a half set in 10 weeks? Man, look, let me tell you, man. And then at the end of the press conference, Derek Carr want to sit up there and cry. You want to sit up there and cry and talk about practice. You want to talk about how it takes to get up and how hard it is to practice with you. Kind of sound like a football player, but I get it though, because he used words like everyone else. So he's distasteful about everybody else on the team. Nobody's in on the team. Another thing, Josh McDaniels. I don't understand why the hell the Raiders got rid of a special teams coach. I mean, I know Rick Biagio. At least that team looked like they wanted to play under Rick Biagio. Okay, this team looked like they don't want to play under Josh McDaniels. How the hell Stephen A. Smith made a great point. How the hell does Derek Carr look worse with Devontae Adams this year? How the hell does he look worse with Devontae Adams this year? There is no reason why the Raiders should be playing. And I get it. John Gruden, Henry Ruggs, Derek Carr galvanized this team last season. Rick Biagio galvanized this team. But I don't know what the hell is wrong with Mark Davis hiring a guy that stuck it up in Denver. He stuck it up in Denver. What the hell did you see in him to give this guy another head coaching gig? Nobody wants to play for this guy.
To be fair, who was his quarterback in Denver? Come on, man.
Nobody wants to play for this guy.
Jay Cutler was his quarterback.
No, it wasn't. It was Tim Tebow.
No, I'm pretty sure he had Jay Cutler.
It was Tim Tebow. Jay Cutler was traded by that point. Okay. It was Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow before John Fox got there, if I'm not mistaken. This Raiders team is sad. They're sorry as hell to watch. They had a chance at the end, and I'm not just ranting because I lost. I could won $3,900. Yeah, I am. I'm very salty because I did on everything on the Green Bay game in Dallas. I mean, it was like sweet, but it was just like, come on, man. What are you doing out there? What kind of plays are you calling? And then I didn't give up a 39-yard rush to absolutely probably one of the slowest quarterbacks in NFL history. On a 3rd and 3 play.
All the controversy around the Jeff Saturday hire. Kudos to him for getting his first win as a head coach. I think the debate could be had if he should even have this job right now. But
No, David. That's not a debate. I don't care that he won this game. Jeff Saturday should still have his ass on TV.
You're not wrong.
There's no. First of all, why the hell are you even trying to win? Okay, you ain't even gonna have this damn head coaching job next year. The probably don't have.
I think Jeff Saturday will have this head coaching job, dude. Jim Irsay's a psycho, dude. He's psychotic. Let's just move on. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay pulling off this victory in overtime, 31-28. Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tony Pollard got the start. Ezekiel out for this game. 115 yards rushing and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb and Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz. Touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Aaron Jones, 24 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown, including that Marshawn Lynch impersonated touchdown. And a shout out to Christian Watson, man. 4 catches, 107 yards, 3 touchdowns. Boy had the game of his life. Really bounced back after he had a couple drops early in this game. Basically lit up the scoreboard after that. And he's had a rough rookie season up to this point. This is good for him. Kudos.
About time.
He was 1 touchdown away from tying the Packer receiver record that would have put him in the pantheons of Don Hudson and Sterling Sharp.
this is
big game for that kid.
This, and when I say about time, it's not Christian Watson. It's about time Aaron Rodgers, because this is what you should have been doing with this kid the whole season. Not throwing him under the bus, not shunning him, not, oh, you dropped the pass, I'm not passing you the ball no more till the game's over. No. Build confidence in him by, all right, it's okay, you'll get the next one. You'll get the next one, you'll get the next one, you'll get the next one. Obviously, Cowboy fans are not happy. Like, they feel like they lost. The refs gave the Packers one with that missed PI call on Jair Alexander, and the Izzy, you can't say it wasn't.
That was
PI.
That was a PI. That was a PI. And then also in the overtime, that was a finicky kind of holding call.
That was 100% a finicky holding call. The only thing I'm gonna give Green Bay credit. Defense stepped up. They played a hell of a game.
With all the injuries,
they forced Dak into some turnovers that he wish he had back. What I don't like is Aaron Rodgers once again showing up as head coach. He didn't like the fact that Matt LaFleur was like, all right, let's just go to OT. Like, no, dude. Like, you were in no position to go for the win in that situation. Just go to OT and whatever happens. Like, you don't show your head coach up on the field and then speak to the media and say, yeah, I didn't like the fact that he wanted to go to OT. You don't do that, bro. Like, that's a conversation for behind closed doors. If the media asks you that question, like, what was that exchange with Matt LaFleur about? That's between me and Matt. That's between me and my head coach. It's that simple, bro. Like,
and so there also is the debate about the decision of
going 4-for-4
in overtime, not kicking goal either. So you don't punt it away, you don't kick the field goal, you decide to go for it, you do not convert it. I guess he didn't have confidence that his kicker could make a field goal from that far. It would have been like 50 yards or so.
Brett Myers got a leg though.
But I think his career long was what, 55?
Yeah, it was further than his career yard. We don't like the kicking in Green Bay is not always the easiest thing ever. And that coaching decision basically helped Green Bay.
And another thing, right? 2-1, 39 rush attempts. Aaron Rodgers only threw the ball 20 times.
I mean, this is how Green Bay has to win.
This is why you should have been playing the whole season.
Yeah, and look, guys, haven't I been calling for this? I've been saying it since the summer. If Green Bay is gonna succeed, build this offense around Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. And damn it, they did it yesterday. And then my namesake, he made the name look so good yesterday, Christian Watson. This kid has confidence now, and that's scary. But I need to call out the Dallas Cowboys because Dallas was running that football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were running that football consistently and with some damn power. Then when they build up a big lead, guess what they do? In typical Mike McCarthy fashion, they get away from the running game. I'm not surprised at that because Izzy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but if Mike McCarthy is the coach of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Jones is an afterthought at this point. Right or wrong?
Oh, absolutely. He never liked to run the football when it's time to run the football.
But
that loss yesterday was the most Mike McCarthyist type of loss that you will ever get, Dallas Cowboys. You've been a thing for many years.
No. I'm not gonna let them. I'm not gonna let them do that because.
Yes, he is.
I'm not gonna do that because it's Cowboy fans out there talking about some like doing what they were like. Oh, see, I knew Mike McCarthy couldn't coach. Y'all ain't saying y'all weren't saying none of that when they went on the 5-game winning streak. Ain't when none of this Mike McCarthy couldn't coach nonsense. He wasn't none of that. He wasn't none of that. And I'm really gonna need them to put some respect on Dak Prescott, man. Because Cooper Rush is not winning that game yesterday.
Cooper Rush is not winning that game yesterday. I don't know what the hell Skip Bayless be talking about.
I am really gonna need them to remember that Cooper Rush is a backup for a reason. Because if he wasn't a backup, he'd be one of the starting 32, and he's not.
Hey, and you know what? Dak just doesn't have. He just what's his? He's 0-3 versus the Packers in his career,
And,
right?
oh, that's fine, but this defense that has been one of the key catalysts into you winning your game.
Soft,
Where were they at?
Michael Parsons. Where was you at?
Where was he at? What was
Soft. They play soft. They play soft. And you want to know something? They had Michael Parsons off the ball instead of on the ball, and that shows me that there's really they were concerned that he wasn't good against the run game.
So that's okay. So all that tells me is they want to blame Mike McCarthy. Dan Quinn run the defense.
Mike McCarthy is always going to be the scapegoat. If things doesn't go well in Dallas, Mike McCarthy is going to be the scapegoat no matter what happens. That's what happens when you're a head coach. Moving on from this game to the battle of the backup quarterbacks in Arizona. These teams are going either way either. Arizona wins 27-17. Cooper Kupp seems to have avoided a major injury.
Shut down the season.
He is going to miss some time with that ankle injury. Probably shut him down. Colt McCoy got the start. Kyler Murray got out, was injured, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. James Conner, really good game for him. 21-69, 2 touchdowns. D-Hop, 10-98. On the Rams side of this, Joe Wolford, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Cam Akers, leading rusher for the Los Angeles Rams, and Tyler Higbee led them in receiving yards. Van Jefferson and A.J. Green caught the passing touchdowns for the Rams and the Cardinals, respectively. The battle of the backup.
Before y'all go, I really don't know what the hell the Cardinals are doing. They released Eno Benjamin a couple hours
today.
ago.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Zach Ertz is done for the season. I read that.
Yep.
I have no idea what the plan is in Arizona.
This is a 2-team race, man.
I mean, like you won.
NFC West.
You won.
I mean, this Eno Benjamin. Something must have came up. Like you don't just drop. You just don't release a. You don't release a running back kind of out of nowhere like this. A guy who's like your backup to the. When James Conner's out, Eno Benjamin's their starting running back.
Exactly. I don't.
He didn't get no carries in this game, so might have been because of that. Why you didn't give me no carries?
I mean, but at the same time, like it's.
Bro, even then, I mean, you keep him on your roster. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
I don't. And the Rams.
The Rams, they have the Super Bowl hangover. They're paying the price for that Super Bowl last year. That's what's happening.
Man, hey,
they're drunk. They drunk. They had too much champagne. They on that Super Bowl hangover for sure.
More than just that. I mean, because when you trade away future assets in order to make one really good run at the Super Bowl, I mean, the runs you make after that are going to be extremely difficult. When the injuries start to pile up, and you don't have draft players you drafted to fill those gaps, like the offensive line, defense, no pass rush, no consistent pass rush. I mean, the secondary isn't going to be close to as good as people. Yeah, this is what happens when you trade away all your draft picks to try to make a run at the Super Bowl.
Injuries pile up, players retire, coaches leave.
Hey, Andrew Whitworth retired. That's a big deal in my opinion because he was like a leader on that team.
I mean, they should have prepared for that for years. I mean, Andrew Whitworth was on the back end of 30 for last.
No, but I'm saying, but he's a leader. I'm not saying performance-wise, but I'm saying when you lose a leader like that in the locker room, like that takes a toll on a team
Matthew
like this.
Stafford to step up. That's when you expect Cooper Kupp to step up.
I mean, Aaron Donald.
Darren Donald, yep.
And you brought in Bobby Wagner. Like, who's it? Like, come on, man. Like, you used to ask, like leadership. Like Bobby Wagner, not a leader. Come on now.
Then how much does it hurt that they didn't bring back Von Miller?
Oh, that's Christian.
It's huge.
Christian.
Huge.
Yeah.
Christian. Go ahead.
I mean, look. Next game. Mm-hmm. Next game.
Hold on. Can I say this? This is for the fantasy show. Y'all can make fun of me. It don't matter who's doing DeAndre Hopkins the damn good football. He gonna eat. Right? Ain't that right, David? He gonna eat.
TJ.
Oh,
TJ.
Fantasy
football.
Moving on to Sunday Night Football. We got the Los Angeles Chargers who played one very good half and then one not so good half. They lose 16-22 to San Francisco 49ers. Justin Herbert, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Austin Eckler had 24 yards rushing in this game. And then DeAndre Carter, 4 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. On the other side of this, San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo, 19 of 28, 240 yards. Elijah Mitchell, actually leading rusher for the San Francisco 49ers for 18 and 89. Brandon Ayuk, 6 of 84. Chris McCaffrey and Jimmy Garoppolo had the rushing touchdowns for
All
the
right,
San Francisco 49ers.
I saw a crazy stat about Jimmy G. Y'all know Jimmy. Y'all know Jimmy Garoppolo's like 10-2 in games he don't throw a touchdown in.
I saw that same stat. I was ready for you to bring that one out, man. That's crazy, man.
This Charger defensive line just couldn't hold up for the entire game. They lost their fourth round pick, who's been played pretty well. Jared Everett was knocked out of this game too.
Chris
bro, like you double up Khalil Mack, and he still had the game. 4 total tackles, 3 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. But other than that, I'm not really losing sleep on anybody on that front. Like, it's different if you got Joey Bosa on one side and Khalil Mack on the other, and we kind of hoping that's what that was.
Bosa's potentially could come back at some point this season.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I fell asleep on this game because
I ain't gonna lie.
Like, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, but when you read that, all right, Mike Williams is out, Keenan Allen is out, and it's like, well, who the hell?
When Gerald Everett got injured during this game, so he didn't have a starting tight end either.
It's like, who the hell Justin Herbert gonna throw the ball to? And
Richard Rodgers.
Who?
Richard Rodgers. And the 2 leading receivers were Jordan Palmer and DeAndre Carter. Yeah, DeAndre Carter. Who had the lone touchdown as well. Carter. TJ's right. I mean, I feel bad for Justin Herbert. Like, all his weapons are hurt.
The offensive line isn't remotely good.
The offensive line is no. And he avoided a real bad concussion injury yesterday. Yeah. If that dude was like a little bit more to the left or right or whatever the case it was, like, he could have did some real bad damage on Justin Herbert.
I still don't like that ejection, but
it's like,
I hate that ejection. Hate it.
But,
and it's a never-ending cycle with the Chargers. But like every year they think, like every year we got a good squad, everybody healthy, and then all of a sudden it's like they just don't get one injury. They just like, bro, it hits them, but like it's like one after the other, and they never really recover from it. So people want to blame Brandon Staley and whatnot. It's like, damn, bro, like, just cut me some slack.
He doesn't have control over all these injuries. I mean, sure, you can question the play calling, you can question some of the defensive decisions, but I mean, they're just riddled with injuries. They're starting corners out, they're starting edge rushers out, they're losing defensive tackles on a weekly basis. They just can't hold up to the run, and when you lose time possession in the way that they. When you lose time possession by 13 minutes and your defense is on the field at 13 minutes longer than San Francisco's defense, you're going to have problems.
And just for reference, an NFL quarter is 15 minutes, right? They got out timed by 13. An NFL quarter is 15. They almost had an extra a quarter's length of time over the Chargers.
And you could kind of feel the momentum being swung during this game, even because Los Angeles had a bunch of opportunities to really extend this game out in the second quarter, but they had to regularly settle for field goals because they couldn't convert on third down. They didn't have those weapons on the outside to really get like the ball moving, and they honestly let a lot of opportunities slip away, and then San Francisco scored that touchdown, and you could kind of feel that the swing of the emotions of this game was going to be real in the second half, and it was. I mean, San Francisco just dominated the second half. They ran the ball down the throats, and there was nothing the Chargers could do, and they couldn't get anything going on offense.
Yeah, and San Francisco, look, I think they're the biggest threat to the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC because they're built to travel and win playoff games on the road. They play that physical brand of football. They can run the ball. Defensively, they have speed and the physical in all 3 tiers. Like, this is a team. If they get it together, I don't want to see come January.
No, this is the scariest 5-4 team ever. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And I'm so like that game against the Dolphins on 12-4. I'm gonna need them to flex that. No, they can't. Fox ain't giving that game up. Order my thing. Fox ain't
But yeah,
giving
we'll see. But yeah, the Chargers, they just didn't have enough to continue doing with the onslaught of the San Francisco 49ers running it down their throat. I mean, this is 41 running attempts for the San Francisco 49ers in this game. 41.
14-1.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how you dominate time possession.
I have never seen an NFC conference this congested. All right, like you got the 49ers at 5-4. The Giants got it's 3 teams out of the NFC East. The Packers basically got back in the race yesterday because they
basically saved their season yesterday.
They basically saved their season. The Vikings are 8-1. Tampa Bay is still in this thing.
It's gonna be pretty fun down the stretch here. But yeah, that's been our week 10 so far recap. We'll be back here tomorrow breaking down week number 10 Monday Night Football, and then we're going to take a peek at week number 11. Also, we're going to be doing halfway point season award show on Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that content. Also, fantasy football show obviously on Wednesday, and then Thursday we're going to have games of the week. I've been David Uppin. Right there's Mr. TJ Hopkins, CEO of Mr. Israel Rivera.
Hey, before we wrap it up, guys, I just want to say this. And I'm pretty sure you guys are in line with this, and I'll say it. My thoughts and prayers go out to the 5 students that were shot. 3 of them that were on the Virginia football team were killed early Sunday night. Sunday night. Late Sunday night. My thoughts and prayers go out to the families in that tragedy. The 3 football players, Lavelle Davis, Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry, were all shot and killed. They were all on the UVA football team. My thoughts and prayers go out to their families. Nobody should be, bearing their own child. And that's all I got to say. And I know you guys probably have your own sentiments about that, but my thoughts and prayers go out to University of Virginia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
on that
100%.
note, we'll be back here tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us here at Prime Sports World. David Huffman, CEO of Prime Sports, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins, and from the DailyBlitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Thank you very much for joining us. And gentlemen, what we do here at the Prime, my friends.
Bring the heat.
Bring the heat, my friends. And, I'm hoping my voice and my body feels a lot better tomorrow. I'm going to be loading up on medication. Wakanda Forever. Let's go.
Wakanda, go see that movie.
If I ever have time, I will absolutely go see it. I promise you. I'll see you guys all later. Have a good night.